we can hit these shots the same. We can still get them pretty clean even if there's not contact. So like what we got here, got a little bunker in the way, a little below the green. We got to get this just maybe a little higher than medium for this to land nice and soft because we got to cover the bunker. Fun little shot that everybody's afraid of. We see that like we are right into the grain. And this bermuda is kind of painted. There's a lot of paint here where they've tried to do this, but it is definitely dormant, as people could see right there. So all the bermuda is dormant. We're into the grain. Like that's the toughest lie you can possibly get. Yeah. So if we are able to hit this shot, understanding how to put the bounce on the ground correctly, and we know we can glide that bounce for a long period of time, this shot becomes less dangerous because we can truly hit 2 inches behind this. Club still goes through the grass fine, pops up. Yeah. Where everybody screws this up is like they see this shot, and there's two things that are going like counterintuitive. All right, I've got to hit this high and soft because I'm kind of go over this bunker to short pin, but I also need to guarantee that I get contact. So the amateur golfer, the guy that struggles with this shot, is going to pretty much exclusively get way too much shaft lean, hit too much down on it in the effort to guarantee contact. Even if he gets contact, it's going to come out low and fast, but the window for good contact in shaft lean and steep is even smaller than actually delivering this bounce to the ground the right way. So when we can get that reverse, when we go, I can actually hit the ground pretty early. I don't even need perfect contact with the golf ball because the club's going to work properly. That includes producing more loft to the ball. It's a little bit easier to attack this shot kind of confidently. Yeah. And then you remove that sort of psychological, like halfway down, like, oh, got to make contact. And we drift forward, we shaft lean, we hit the ground, and it's terrible. Like when we know we can put this club on the ground. So make a couple practice swings here, like no contact with ball. So we're going to play this shot face slightly open so the toe's a little bit behind the heel. We're not going to really change technique from our pitch shot movement here. Yeah. It's now that toe is slightly behind the heel, right? We've exposed a little more loft to the ball. We've put a little more bounce on the ground to where if we put that on the ground the right way, that thing's a snowshoe. It's going to glide for a long period of time. So give me a couple little practice moves there where you actually put that on the ground pretty hard. Again, we're into some pretty good grain, right? It's going to glide right through. It's no problem. So when we see that, right? Yeah, we're kicking up grass here because we're into the grain. That grass is going to grab it, but that club's going right through. You're not going to stick that into the ground. There's no resistance from that, yeah? Now doing the opposite way. Do this wrong to where you're going to actually shaft lean and go steep, and we're going to see the interaction with the turf here so we can see how bad this Bermuda is. So it's like, yeah, you're going to see that it's going to grab. We're going to actually kick up dirt. Like there's a massive divot there. So we see the difference in how we're going to hit the ground. If I've got the bounce gliding the ground, yeah, I'm going to disrupt the turf. I mean, it's dead grass with grain coming into me, but as we saw there, it's going to glide through with pretty consistent speeds. So you're playing this shot slightly open for the loft. But more than just the loft, now the bounce is in a great spot. Yeah. All right, so we don't really change technique here. It's all the same thing. We're going to let the loft do the work. Put the club on the ground hard. Perfect. Perfect. So if we look at that divot, this is the thing that trips people out. Like into the grain, we hit the ground hard there. Like you can hear the audio of like, we put that club on the ground hard. That's necessary. That's what people try to avoid. They either try and get contact or they try and pick it. And they're going to either scull it or they're going to chunk it. But we put the club intentionally on the ground hard, and we disrupted very, very little grass. That's perfect. That ball had some spin to it. You hit that to a couple of feet. Nice. Great takeaway right there. Again, the audio there, fantastic. Like how hard we hit the ground. Yeah. Right? Very little. And we hit that from the same spot, so it's already disrupted a little bit. Not a lot of turf, not a lot of dirt kicking up. That's got a bunch of spin on it too. Yeah. Beautiful right there. So this is a shot. This is what I love about this shot. That's perfect. So many people hate this shot. Yeah. They're so afraid of it. And that's what actually makes the problem, is because then they defer to like what they know about. I can guarantee ball contact. I'm just going to lean and get steep. It makes contact harder, and it also means that even if I do, that ball's not going to do what I need it to.
Said, yeah, you need the shot. And that's a perfect example. I mean, I hit at least 2-3 inches behind that ball.
Boom.
No problem.
So let's play with this. So we're going to do this here. I'm going to, especially for the camera, if we want to look at this from face on, I'm going to sort of mark. I think I got a tee in my pocket or a coin. I'm going to mark where the golf ball is. Yep. Right. And I want you to hit maybe 3-4 inches behind this. Let's get something where it's not too terrible right there. So I want you to hit 3-4 inches behind that intentionally.
Yeah.
And see if we can still get the shot to come out. So this is what I do. Like when I'm in Florida for the Florida swing with guys, I'll find the grainiest patches possible, and we'll get to the point where if they realize that 2-3 inches behind that for a high soft shot, it's fine. Then the anxiety of the shot goes away. There's at no point are they worried about leaning that in there and trying to make ball first contact. So we're going to intentionally hit a few inches behind this. Clint said it's hard. I mean, you got perfect contact. Yeah, it's like, but think about the opposite of that. The guys that are trying to get perfect contact, chunk it and blade it.
Yeah.
We tried to hit behind it, putting the club on the ground the right way, and got a perfect shot again.
Yeah.
So
it's just that safety net, like you said. I mean, obviously I missed what I was trying to do there, but it's still a fine
perfect shot
because I know I have that.
You got a window. If you're trying to live on the margin of ball first contact or nothing,
and I did that, it'd be,
you're living on the knife's edge. Like you just sent it over the green, and you got the same shot from the other side.
Yeah, exactly.
There it is. Yeah. So we got ground. This is probably, there's initial contact with the ground. That's probably 3 inches behind it.
Yep.
3 inches behind it, that ball got to maybe 10 feet.
Yeah.
So it was like,
and
that's as bad as you're possibly going to do. Trying to hit behind it and into the grain, Bermuda, dormant lie, that ball's on the green, we got a putt to save this thing. Like, so when you understand we can put the bounce on the ground the right way, and that the biggest thing we're going to screw up is trying to get ball first contact by giving that up, by shaft leaning being steep. We've made the shot nearly impossible. But when we understand that I can hit the ground the right way, 2-3 inches behind the golf ball, that's my guarantee that this shot's going to come out great. The shot becomes easy. We don't get in that stressful situation. The technique actually gets better because we're not trying to compromise that to get ball first contact.
Yep.
Hit the last couple there. Just normal there. But that's like I ingrained that in guys. We go down to Florida because obviously that's like some of the grainiest stuff we can see.
It's like just, it's such a common belief that you have to hit down on it into grain.
Yeah.
And you don't.
So I mean, if we just think about it as reasonable golfers, right? So I need a high soft shot. What good does hitting that much down on it do?
Yeah, you can't. Like you'd get lost.
It's sort of a conundrum. I need high and soft, so I'm gonna hit down on this, and it doesn't really work out a lot of the times. Beautiful. That ball's got some spin on it, dude. That was nipped. Go in. Almost. That's so good there. Like the backstroke, exactly what we've been talking about. It's got a little bit more hinge there, which is great because this ball's got to have a little more speed. We're going a little higher, but it goes right through plane. It's not hinged up to where the club head's kicked outside the hands, and it's not rotated in so far that we're going to shift that path out. It's right up and down the line that we need it to be because we've got correct wrist angles and forearm, but we do have a little more hinge. That's fine. You can have as much of that as you like as long as it's the correct movements, not just a bunch of hinging up, not just a bunch of rotating behind us. There's that blend that starts to get comfortable, and you can hit the ground the right way all the time. Again, behind it, ball's still in the air. Whew. See, I love that one. See, it's actually got a little bit of, like, if anything, that tilted a little to the draw side. That's beautiful. That's you getting the bounce on the ground the right way, but releasing it through there to where the face squares back up. You get a nice, high, soft little draw. That's perfect there. Really nice. Same thing there. Really good. One more. We're gonna make this one hard. We're gonna get this just nasty. I'm gonna get let's get some of this grain kicked up and really make this hard here. That's sitting on the edge of some grain there. It's but if we realize that I can get this club to go through this the right way because the bounce will glide through it, that's just
slightly soft.
It might be. So your safety net there is all right. If anything, it's gonna come out slower because I got stuff in the way.
Yeah.
But I know I can give this more speed, and if I do hit it nicely, it's just going to go higher.
Yeah.
So the safety net is give it more speed the right way, not speed of leaning and trying to hit down on it, but more speed from the same shot, even out of that bad lie. You should be able to pop this up just like the ones that were in, decent lies. Awesome right there. That's perfect. I mean, that's the worst lie you can get in Bermuda. You're into the grain, and there's grain behind the golf ball. High, soft, right at the flag. Those are awesome, man.